Good afternoon, folks, evening, wherever you are. This is the Game 18 Sports Desk. We played this game in Atlantic City at the Sports Desk, the Sports Book. This is a Sports Desk.
That was our secondary satellite office. We're in the primary satellite office right now, my house.
We gotta get the limo over there. We can do that again. But the marble table is a tough roll. But so this is Game 18, 1998 Yankees, 1975 Reds. I had the Yankees. Tom had the Reds. The dice roll was 14, light wind, and we played in Toronto.
Right, with the Toronto Dimensions, and this was the other winner's bracket semifinal. And if you remember from the last Sports Desk, this game is being played at night because of the rains.
Yes.
So, we all know the 1998 Yankees have been extraordinarily tough through the last tournament. In this tournament, the Reds struggled in the last tournament. They're doing well in this tournament, though. 2-0. So you have 2-0 teams going against each other in the winner's bracket semifinal. So, the Reds started Darcy, and the Yankees started Pettit. So, let's get to what happened here. So, the Yankees were away, and they scored their first run with a Mickey Rivers single and a Posada single. And then Brocious hit into a fielder's choice, but that scored Rivers.
Rains.
And that scored Rains, I'm sorry. That scored Rains' first run. I can't read Paul's handwriting.
Yeah, you weren't going to be able to read that even if I wrote it the right way.
Mickey Rivers played for the 1977 Yankees.
Yes.
Okay, so the Yankees were up 1-0. Like has been happening, the pitchers have been pretty good in these tournaments so far. Okay, so the Reds answered in the bottom of the third as Concepcion singled, and then Darcy sack bunted him over. And then after a Morgan strikeout, Pete Rose drove a single to center to drive in the run, and we now had a 1-1 ball game going into the fourth. And it stayed like that for the next several innings, and we entered the sixth in a 1-1 ball game. And the Reds answered with Morgan leading off with a walk, and then Rose driving a double down the left field line to drive in Morgan. And Pettit was still sharp, though. Pettit was able to get the next three out, and so we now had a 2-1 ball game going into the seventh. And you know that you don't let the Yankees stay in the game. That's a dangerous thing to do. And it was dangerous here. As well as Darcy was pitching, okay, the Yankees started to get to him in the seventh. So Jeter led off with a base hit, and then O'Neill got a hit. And after this, Darcy was getting tired, so I had no choice but to pull him and bring in McKinney. Darcy had been pitching well, but based on what was going on here, his arm was tired. He wasn't injured, but he was tired, and I had to replace him. And so I replaced him, and I figured McKinney could hold these guys down, but Bernie Williams had other ideas. Bernie Williams decided, nah, I'll just drive a 500-foot shot over the center field fence.
500, nah.
So Bernie Williams hits a 2-run homer over the center field fence. McKinney settled down after that, but after all was said and done, the Yankees scored 3, and so we now entered the bottom of the seventh with the Yankees now winning 4-2. So the seventh and eighth were clean, and we entered the ninth, and Bernie Williams led off with a walk, and I assume that Johnny Bench was not very happy with the home run last time and now the walk this time, because it was a ball four, close call, and Johnny Bench thought it was a strike, and so he got ejected from the game because he argued with the umpire. That's just a little bit of frustration there. Okay, and eventually Bernie Williams scored after there was an error on the pitcher. Rains walked, Posada walked, and that walked in a run. So the Yankees now took a 5-2 lead. By this time, Norman had come in relief, and the Reds now had to try and score 3 to tie the game in the bottom of the ninth. And so Paul brought in old reliable Graham Lloyd. No, Ed, we're just kidding. Not Graham Lloyd. Who'd you bring in?
Mo Rivera.
Mariano
Rivera.
Now, in the last tournament, Rivera did let up a big lead, and people were criticizing the game for not being real, but we know Rivera, what he can really do. So did the right dice rolls kind to him? Did he do what he was supposed to do? Well, he had to face George Foster. He had to face pinch hitter Dreisen, who pinch hit for Perez. And he also had to face Griffey. And these were the results. Strikeout swinging, strikeout looking. Game over.
Yeah, it was...
Short work did Rivera make of the Reds, and the beautiful Big Med machine took their first loss of the tournament, and the Yankees are now 3-0.
Yeah, that felt good. It was a feel good. It felt good to do that. So
yeah, exactly. So the Yankees will now move to the secondary winners bracket semifinal, and if I am not mistaken, are they not going to be playing the Cubs? Is that what they're going to be doing here? No, they are not going to be playing the Cubs. Since the Yankees move on and there's a flip-flop, the Yankees are going to be playing the 54 Indians, who lost to the Cubs, and the Reds will now be playing the 06 Cubs, a kind of a flip-flop here. So that makes this tournament a little interesting. It's a little interesting design that we came up with here to allow some of these top teams to have to play each other a couple of times. So this is rather interesting. So Yankees 3-0, Cubs 3-0, Reds 2-1, Indians 2-1, all playing each other still in the top bracket going into day 4. But we still have plenty of day 3 games to go over, do we not?
Yeah, we do.
Yes, we do. And these are all single loss games. And as you remember, it is quadruple elimination. So one loss, not even close to killing you. A lot of these teams still in great shape. And so we will be going over those games in the next Sports Desk.
That's right. So for Tom and Paul, we are done. That's Game 18. We'll be back with more Sports Desk later.
See you next time.